Hi, my friends. Another beautiful day out here. You are a conduit for the divine. You know, when we're born into this world, like I've said it before, we're all perfect. And it doesn't take long for things to change due to external reasons, the environment, and the way that we are all raised and brought up by all these things that are outside of us that influence everything that we do in our lives, pretty much about everything. So, an easy way to understand that is imagine an electric cable, and but it's severed. But you know when it's what a cable is like severed, but it's not completely cut all the way, and you can see the voltage and the electricity sparks flying all over the place. This is what happens to us as we start to grow up and develop our personalities, our way of thinking, seeing, and having our perspective and emotions and feelings about everything that happens around us. We sever our connection with this divine, with this divinity that we are all born with, and that is what we are originally. From the very first moment, the very first breath that we take. So the connection is not something that it can ever be cut completely. It's not possible. But in most cases, for most people, it's always severed to some degree. For some, it may be more than others. It really depends on the person and a lot of different factors, based upon their own lives. I wanted to take this moment to really let you all guys know how much I appreciate each and every single one of you, even though this is a small channel. But just know that, you know, the simple fact that you take time out of your life to listen to what I have to say, I really appreciate you. And it's really beautiful, like, like how I put this video yesterday about nature and how much I feel it matters to me. And then I talked about it and stuff. If you guys haven't checked that one, check it out. And then today, when I come here again, I came in, finished my meditation, and then I go to one of the trees that I always go to. This is not the tree that I was talking about on the video from yesterday, though, just so you know. But it doesn't really matter. This is one of the biggest ones. And then as I get there, 4:44 on the timer as I was talking about this. Interesting. As I get there, synchronicity is such a wonderful, beautiful, and powerful thing. And people don't realize how much these things, let me adjust the camera here a little bit. How much these things matter. So as I'm approaching this tree to give its daily hug, that is part of my routine and my ceremonial system that I have with them. Look at I want to share this with you guys because it's very relevant to me and to you as well. Um, Look at what I found at the bottom of the tree. Somebody just left this there. And I love when people do things like this. And I wish more people did things like this. So I took it, I picked it up, and I'm gonna take this with me home today. And this is what it was at the bottom of this big tree, one of the biggest trees that there is over here that I've seen so far. Look at this. Do you see how cool that is? This is how I feel about each and every single one of you that takes time out of your personal lives to listen to what I have to say. Just know that. Truly. I mean it, guys. I really mean it. So like I was saying, this connection, even though it's severed, it's never cut all the way. It cannot be cut. It's you can't ever be completely separated or detached from your divine spark. That's what I call it most of the time. Because this is an integral part of every single one of us, that it's always going to be with us no matter what. And it's just the way it is. So look at it from the perspective and the sense that I am here because I am you just as much as you are me. Because everything is connected. We're all part of the same thing. This consciousness field, this thing that exists that we are all tapped into, that creates this physicality that we experience here, based upon how we see ourselves, how we think of ourselves, and all of these things. And this is why these things matter a lot. Because when you start realizing the things that you can do, when you look at things from the right perspective, when it comes down to yourself, because we are here to have everything that we need, really. But because most of us, have this connection severed, and I've talked about this before, there are a lot of things that are external, that are kind of like outside of our control when it comes down to this whole programming and wrong mindset conditioning that we are heavily subjected to throughout our whole lives, including especially now that we have all this technology available to us, and people are just like being fed all these things that they just don't matter at all, and it only makes things worse for the most part. But then there's also the positive aspect of the same technology, that it can be used the way that I'm using here right now to reach people and tell them about these things. So there's balance, harmony, and equilibrium in everything when you think about it. So I'm just here to remind you, in case you still, haven't come to that conclusion, that it's very, very easy to fix that severed connection. So that you can thrive in your life and really get where you want to get, wherever that is, whatever that is. you have you have to do it at some point. You know that voice in your head that keep telling you all these things, that you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that, or why don't you try this, why don't you try that, why don't you go this way. Think of me as that. I'm just here to remind you, you can do it. You just have to reconnect with yourself and understand that you've just been doing the whole thing wrong this whole time, and it's mostly not your fault, because there's so much static that blocks so much of that stuff, and most of the time we're not really paying attention to the things that matter, because we're just on this autopilot mode, doing everything in this like zombie state of sleepwalking, and not really focusing or paying attention on the things that really truly matter in life, and that's all that is. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say today other than what I just said, you know. So, if your connection is still severed, just go ahead and fix that. It's that easy. Plenty of people out there, other than myself, talking about this and giving you all the things that you need to have to understand how this whole process works. And then once you do that, and then you look within, you're going to find everything that you need, because you have all the answers. It's all inside of you. It's not other people telling you what to do and how to do. It's all in you. You are the answer. You always have been the answer. You just have to realize that. That's all. And that's how I'm going to end this video today. So just know that I love you all, and you rock my world. Never stop loving yourself. And I will catch you all next time. Take care, my friends.